Hi, everyone. YouTube tells me I'm live. Let's confirm that in the video chat. If you could give me a thumbs up, letting me know that you both see and hear me, I would really appreciate it. I see one thumb up. We do have a 1 second delay, so it sometimes takes a little bit to have your reaction or comment show up. Okay, hi, Lisa, however I say that. I see we've got Donna Crow, Mary, um, missed a bunch here. Gonna scroll back up real quick in case everybody's still here. So some of the names that I saw, I'm gonna miss some, I know it. So how about if I just do a general hi, everybody, welcome. Once the meditation starts, you are welcome to keep typing comments. My moderators will be just making sure that they're positive. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. But I won't be reading them until late in the meditation because my focus right now is going to be on the camera and the energy and you folks. So let's see, it is 2 o'clock. We have 49 people here, which is 29 more than we need to change the world. I do believe what I've heard that it takes only 20 people of like mind and focus to make a definite change in our reality. And today's, I think, is it's not earth shattering, but I thought, it is time for us to celebrate how we've been growing. And that means learning to keep our vibration up, learning lots of new terms and things like that, and how we're learning. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to learn some new things every day. And I took on something I should have started 50 years ago. I'm trying to get more familiar with astrology. And like I said, should have started 50 years ago, but I started now. So I hope I have lots of time to get a little more adept at it. In the meantime, I've got a few very positive resources at my fingertips. So that's helping. But again, it's like I'm 68. I'm going to keep learning as long as I'm breathing. I'm going to keep growing as long as I'm breathing. And I know many of you that watch me have that same focus. Now let's talk about the meditations because it's quite likely that there are new people here. And you're going to say, well, when do you go into the lotus position and do this? Well, we don't really do that. Meditation is focused thought, and we join together in love and light and positivity. And we have an intention that we kind of view from different aspects. However, and again, with our own personal lens on that focus that we provide. So sometimes with newcomers, they say, well, Laura's talking. When does meditation start? I'll tell you when it starts. I promise. It'll just be more me talking, but I'll let you know when it starts. Now, one of the reasons it takes a while to start is we have to get ready. One of the problems with group meditations in the past has been that their energy and focus and intention have been hijacked. So the very first thing we're going to do is put protections on our energy, our focus, and our intention. Okay. And then on ourselves too. Okay. So I want to also just stress that this is a non-denominational meditation. However, participants come from many different faith walks, and those are honored as long as they're positive. I'm not going to impose my personal belief on you. If I slip and use a word I'm comfortable with and you're not, just, tune me out for that one word and off we go. Okay. So, anyway, let's start with protections. Imagine ourselves putting protections against our any kind of a hijacking of our energy and our intention today. Okay, I'm a visualizer, and I'm having a lot of luck lately visualizing gift boxes, beautifully wrapped gift boxes. So I'm going to wrap our intention and our focus and our purpose and our energy all into a gift box that I take into my heart chakra area for safekeeping. And then ask, according to my faith walk, that all of those things be protected and never, ever transmuted or changed or hijacked in any way. So if you like to visualize, take a second here. Beautiful gift box. In goes our energy, our intention, our focus, and then our own selves too. We want ourselves to be protected throughout this whole process and our energy to be protected. I'm putting the top on the gift box. I'm doing it like they do in TV where they only have to rip off the lid. It's going into my heart chakra. And then I am just asking that all of that be protected permanently and forever. So our intention is that our focus and our energy will never be hijacked. It was ours to direct, and we are directing it permanently in the direction that we do. Positive energy is always welcome here. If you're just listening in and skeptical, that's fine too. Or if you're scientifically detached, that's fine too. But negative energy of any sort is not welcome here. And I'm advising you right now, very quickly, that if there is any here or being sent our way, from a count of 3 down, we are sending it to our loving creator, to wherever our faith walk goes that's positive, to be transformed. So 3, 2, 1, transformed, gone, not on the table here. Okay, so that's just all there is to it. I had a very good and longtime viewer, Bara, who was talking to me about let's not even give talking about negative energy much of a focus. So while we do want to be very clear in our intention that it's not welcome here and it's being sent to be transformed, we're done with that now. That's all there is to it. Okay. So some of our protections also, I mentioned that we want ourselves protected. This means our energy and our focus. And my intention is that, and I am asking my loving creator to, that everybody's participating here in good faith and positivity, that their energy and their selves will be protected before, during, and even beyond the time limits of this meditation. I further am stipulating that any energy contributed from the goodness of your heart will immediately be from the goodness of your heart will immediately be replaced, refilled, and in abundance, so that no one leaves here depleted. Okay, a lot of what our longtime members are doing, and what I do, one of the reasons that I feel quite safe in wishing potentially millions of people love and light and everything bright, is I am a conduit. And I think of it as a gutter pipe coming off the roof. So that's what I've got here, coming from the focus of my worship and faith out, and providing all the energy needed for unlimited love, unlimited light, unlimited blessings. And by the same token, unlimited protection for you and your energy as you participate today. I hope when everybody leaves here, they feel like they really got into something that was worthwhile, even if it wasn't exactly tangible, that they put their energy into something that was worthwhile. And you know what? We are worthwhile. We are awake despite obstacles and so much propaganda and brainwashing trying to keep us from waking up. We're awake, we're aware, we're still, despite all that we've come to know about this world, this matrix, we still know that love is the answer, that love is important, that kindness is important, and that our purpose, besides learning and growing, is to be the very best human we can be. And the very best positive human we can be. So if we're going to excel at anything, let it be at the effort to be our kindest, best, wisest selves. Okay, now let's make sure our bodies are ready for the meditation. You should not be, again, we protected our energy, so you shouldn't feel depleted. And while I'm doing this from an office chair, if you are the type of meditator that you want to be over on a mat, on a yoga mat, doing it traditionally with a lotus position, go for it. Go for it. But really, since meditation is focused thought, we're going to focus our thoughts, and I kind of, with my audio here, I'll be kind of directing that process. So let's make sure we're ready, okay? Be sitting up as straight as you can, okay? And I know that sometimes there's limitations with that. Just do the best you can, because we want our chakras to be have a clear flow of energy from top to bottom, in and out. So sit up straight. Now let's make sure no one should be stressed out. I mean, if anybody is, it's going to be me, because I'm doing this live. It's take one and that's it. Okay. And I'm not stressed out. I'm excited to join with you guys and talk about the things we love and celebrate who we are and who we're becoming. Okay. But do the stress check that I have you do every month. Your shoulders, push them down as far as you can. It should feel good even if you're not stressed out. If you are stressed out, you're really going to feel your muscles stretching out as we do this. So shoulders down. And if you want to compare, put them up and then bring them down, 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 down as far as you can. It should feel really good. Okay. Your feet should be flat on the floor unless you're doing a lotus position type of meditation. Okay. And again, we're going to be awake and aware. We want our chakras aligned. We want our shoulders down, stress not even a part of this factor at all today. And then we're going to do some 3 breaths that will clear our energy. I, again, being a visual person, think about every breath coming into us is going to be so clear and sparkling. We used to say in Alaska that we breathed on faith. It was so clear. We want our air coming in no matter where we're at, if it's an urban setting or whatever. We're going to visualize the air coming in totally purified and sparkling and of benefit to every cell in our body. It's going to be the perfect breaths. Now, when it comes out, the first one that comes out is going to be gathering up as it goes in and comes out. It's going to be taking away any negativity residue that might remain, okay, from something that happened earlier today or a problem you're having trouble setting aside for this time, whatever. So you're going to picture that first breath coming out, clearing out your entire system, your energy field, okay? Then the second breath, you may be so good at this by the second breath, it looks as good as the first breath coming in. And if you're not, no matter by the third breath, it will be. You're going to visualize sparkling air coming in, sparkling air going out, and we will be ready. We'll be those vessels of love and light that are ready to put some energy into our focus today. Okay, so the 3 breaths, we're getting ready now. Breath 1 in. It's gathering up in our cells anything that needs to leave that was negative or smudgy or residue, and out. Second breath in. Feels so good. You can feel the sparkle, and out. Okay, shake it out a little bit because third breath is going to be good for everybody. We've got this, guys. Ready? Third breath in and out. Okay, we're ready to begin. Again, this is focused thought, and the intentions were clearly stated in the announcement. So we're going to talk today in our meditation. We're going to be picturing and talking about growth and learning. Now, key to those was also unlearning, okay, and the deliberate conscious decision to grow. And I'm talking about the concepts we've learned to explore, the truths we've learned to accept, and looking beyond narratives and programming. So for some of us to learn things, we had to unlearn. Let's talk about the learning first, okay? I want you to think of 3 things you've learned in the last, I'll say, year, okay? Or topics you've dived into that you hadn't thought about before, maybe because of my videos or something like that. Okay, think of 3 topics that you explored and learned something about, even if what you learned was, I don't think this is true or right, and I'm not going to go into it any deeper. Okay, so I want you to think of those 3 things. Now, pat yourself on the back. We're learning, no matter what our age is, we're learning. We're adding to our wisdom toolbox. And this is a good thing. And it should be a perpetual, as long as we are in existence thing. Okay. I'm looking forward to being able to learn when I'm not hampered by these brain cells, this body. I intend to be a learning entity as long as I live, as my soul exists. And as far as I know, it goes on forever. Now think of some of the things you've unlearned. Now, I hesitate to mention specifics because I may have Now, I hesitate to mention specifics because I may have unlearned something you still accept. And if that is true, that's fine. You accept it, it's your truth, go for it. Okay? But in this past year, I have become more aware of how many, they call them elite, but that's only because they started in the womb. Gender inversions there are. Whew, mind-boggling topic. Okay? So I learned more about that. I've learned more about why the NASA narrative just does not make sense. And as I shared earlier in this video, I'm learning more about astrology. And I feel kind of chagrined that I didn't start sooner because with my faith walk, I always believed that the wise men used the heavens to guide them. So why can't we? Though those are three of mine, okay, that I had to unlearn. I had to unlearn the programming that told me this is a bad thing to learn. I had to unlearn the programming that said, here is what the official story is, believe it. Don't question it. Okay, so we've talked about things we're learning and unlearning. Now the growth. This may be a little harder to quantify, okay? Things you've grown in, okay? And sometimes it's deliberate. I have grown more this year by being, I phrase it, intentionally kind. I have a certain natural kindness. I have a certain natural temper. And don't screw around with me too. But what I do is I know that kindness is a trait that is pleasing to the light. So I've been working at being more intentionally kind when it doesn't come naturally. When I'm a little frustrated at someone's rudeness or, in a public situation or something like that, I've learned to just stop and go, no, I want to be intentionally kind. And I think of someone that I think of as always kind, whether they think they are or not. And I think, okay, how would she handle this? Okay. Well, she'd take a deep breath. She'd smile. She'd make a joke. She'd whatever. And then I'm doing that. So that's one of the things, the way I have grown. And think of something, some way you have grown. Okay. I've grown in my desire to learn more about topics that just weren't part of the mainstream education process. Oh, so I'm going to be a lifelong student of tarot. I'm going to be a lifelong student of astrology. I'm going to be a lifelong student of learning more about just what the nuances and meaning is of vibration and frequency and things like that. So think of things that you have grown in. I know more about this than I did last year. Okay. Whatever it might be something that's very practical. I know more about gardening than I did this time last year. I know more about childcare than I did this time last year. I know more about basic auto mechanics than I did this time last year. Let's celebrate some of those growth moments that you have personally had that are going to be quite diverse as we listen to this. Okay? Now, I'm going to ask you to picture yourself a year from now, looking back on this and thinking, whoa, that was just the stepping stone. Look what I did in this year. So, again, making that commitment to grow and learn because there's no limit to where it's going to take us. There's none. The limit is with, like I said, this finite creature that we are now in this incarnation. There's some limits to what we can do, but we can explore them and push them, can't we? So I'm going to stop for just a second now. I'm going to close my eyes because I'm a visualizer. And I'm picturing myself 1 year from now. I'll have a couple more wrinkles, maybe a few less pounds, hoping. And I plan to know a lot more about some of the things I mentioned today than I did. How to channel that intentional positivity when it doesn't come naturally, or topics I'm choosing to learn and learn more about. And then boundaries that I've gotten better at in the last year. That was something else that was really good for me. We already did a boundary meditation. but definitely a growth thing and learning to not feel guilty for imposing some boundaries on my time, my talent, my energy. So that's been a biggie for me. So you should be at this point thinking, okay, we've talked about growth. Yep, I can think of some things I've grown on. We've talked about learning. I can think of some things I've learned more about this year. Okay. You should be feeling really good about yourself. And I want you to. Okay. Now we just kind of pictured ourselves at the end result. Pick one topic you're going to dive into or learn more about. One trait you want to grow more. One trait. Again, it can be acceptance, kindness, discernment. It can be love. It can be whatever, a trait that you want to have more of. Okay. Take a second, make that commitment. Even though it's not New Year's, this is the time to do it. Say in the following year, I'm going to learn more about this and I'm going to make a conscious effort to be more, and you fill in the blank for yourself, the trait you want. So the topic you'd like to learn more of, the trait you'd like to have more of. And then as we do it intentionally, eventually it becomes natural. Okay. Just like when we were learning to walk, we had to be very intentional about it as we were doing those first steps, right? And then it came to us naturally. Okay. So picture yourself a year from now, wiser and more of a positive trait you want to have. Pat yourself on the back. Say, I'll meet you in a year. I'm headed your way. And that concludes the topics that I wanted to discuss in this meditation. Silly as it may seem. Or prosaic, which means, like every day, well, big deal. We all learn, we all grow. Not everybody does. Not everybody does. And I've had many of those people who deliberately don't want to grow and don't want to change and don't want to learn that were placed in my path, maybe meant to be obstacles or learning opportunities. So you may feel the same way. Okay, so at this time, before we close, let's look at the time here. We got 21 minutes in, and I try to never go over 30 so that if you listen to these later, you kind of know what the time element is going to be for the meditation. So if you would like to share in the comments, and I'm not going to scroll back, I apologize if I'm going to miss something that you thought should be, given a shout out to. If you would like to share a trait or a topic, trait you want to be more of, a topic you'd like to learn more of, and you'd like to share that, I'll look in the comments here and share a few with everybody. By the way, this live chat replay will be part of the video. It takes a while to show up when we conclude here, but it will be part of it. If you type slow or you are slow to make a decision to share something, you are also welcome to put it in the comments under the posted video. I know several people, including myself, we go through and look at those intentions. We look at those celebrations or needs, and then we decide according to our personal lens and our personal, how we're personally led. If we're going to, yeah, that's a really valid thing that she's asking for us to pray about or send positive energy towards and what have you. So, there's always that way. So just because we conclude the video doesn't mean you can't share. Okay. And laughter is the best medicine. Boy, is it. You got to be humorous to get old. Let me tell you, you got to be able to laugh at yourself. Take off that bra and go, when did those go there? Oh, sounds like Tess is celebrating learning to be a little more patient. Yeah, there's a lot to unlearn. A lot. A year ago, I wouldn't even contemplate the thought that maybe all of this is some sort of matrix. And now I'm willing to consider that. Because whether it is or it isn't, I still exist in it and I'm still doing what I'm doing in it. So I didn't want to think of it as a matrix. I like to think of it as a created state of reality. So yeah, Tess, family can test your patience. That's where the boundaries come in with me. Okay, Ann L had a beautiful comment. Shout out to all those being the change they want us B. To C. Keep going. You're doing great. Okay. Janet Carter, self healing is my focus emotionally and physically. I still have some of that work I'm doing too. I had a lot of roadblocks that were deliberately put in my path in my life to keep me from being here, but I got here. But still, there's some residual, energy from that I still, work on that self healing, that learning to love. The hardest thing I've ever learned to love is myself because I know every fault and every sin and every misstep I made, you know, and I've often said, I know all the stuff I did wrong, the screw ups I did, the mistakes, sometimes the deliberate screw ups and stuff. I wouldn't love me, you know? And then I learned I need to. I need to. I was growing. I was maybe responding to, you know, situations that I had no control over. And we're born into this reality or matrix, whatever it is, with our memories wiped. And we're all just doing the best we can. Okay, JM Malnati says, learn to fine tune my ability to tap into my intuition. Well, I want that for everybody. And the time is perfect right now for us to be getting more intuitive and to practice those skills of discernment. I love that I'm noticing there's been a slight drop in people asking me if something is right. They're trusting their discernment about it. They might still want me to do the card read about it, but they're not asking me to validate what they're thinking or feeling. And I love that. We're all supposed to be doing that where we learn to discern. The old colloquial way of saying that was trust your gut. And I love that. Letting go of the ego from Elsa Ballou. I'll just say first names from here on out, especially since some of these last names can be a little difficult. Donna's holding space for friends and family members who are at a different place in their journey. Yeah. And in a way, for me, it was also about detaching a little bit, just understanding they're following their path at their pace. And I have to respect that and honor that and send them love and hope for the best. But still, it's their path, it's their pace. It's not mine. Never lack curiosity. Good one, Juanita. Okay. Anne says the mind is all, everything outside is our thoughts creating the reality we live in. We do know that our thoughts create our reality. And our focus changes that reality. So at the end of this meditation, you should be leaving here with an increased ability to learn, to grow, to embrace learning and unlearning, and embrace growth. You should, just because we focused on it. And we focused on it in the most positive, beautiful way possible. Okay. Jean learned not to take the health of her kidneys for granted. Okay. Nana Beesmas says taking a step back and not give back knee-jerk reactions. Yeah, I still struggle with that sometimes. And I've learned the difference between reacting and responding. Now, sometimes, like a few weeks ago, my grandson spilled a big glass of milk and I reacted, hurry, wipe it up, which we needed to do. But I was definitely in reaction mode, you know? And I should have been more in response mode. And I got there pretty quickly, where I said, hey, don't worry about it. Help me clean up. That's Graham's rule. If you make a mess, but you help clean it up, it's all good. Okay, so learning to respond rather than reacting is really important. Okay. Julie reminds us, Julie, my moderator, that we need to be thinking about best possible outcomes. Absolutely. For ourselves, for others, for situations, for the world. We need to not only seek it, but to expect it. And to say, hey, and I'll do anything and everything I can to help make those best possible outcomes happen. Okay, guys, it's 2:28. If you are typing an intention that something you intend to learn more about or a growth step you plan to take and you want to share that, please finish that now. And if I stop the live stream and you haven't shared and you wanted to, I just want to say one more time, remember, you can immediately, it will immediately, even though it won't have the chat, live chat replay yet, it will be posted under the lives tab on my channel. And you can, in the comments, share something that you might not have had the time or opportunity to do during the meditation. I want to thank everyone for contributing their energy to this focus and topic. If you would like right now to say, in my opinion, this topic is concluded and I am stopping energy towards the meditation, that is fine. Remember, this is something else we need to start getting into a little more, is that we control how long our energy goes towards a topic, a subject, or a person or a situation. And we can say, I am stopping energy headed this way. You can still think about it without sending energy to it. And we got a whole thing to get into about welcomes because we were taught not to know that welcomes could be rescinded and revoked and should be. So we'll get into that in another time. Okay. Okay, probably next video or two I do, and I say stick around for an afterword. I'll talk about that a little bit. Okay, promise. Okay, so I am going to count down accurately because I haven't always been able to. I'm going to count down from 10 and conclude this video. And I thank you so much for sending positive energy, participating if you chose to, or just watching with interest or skepticism to see if this was a process you'd like to be part of again at another time. And a reminder, we never take down these meditations. They are recorded. If you look at the topic and it's one you'd like to visit, revisit, or spend a little more time with, at any point, you're always welcome to do that. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. I wish you love, light, and everything bright. Bye.